past half hour, CNN has learned Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister and Acting Defense Minister are flying to Crimea. The government's press center says they are headed there to prevent the escalation of conflict. But the situation in Crimea is volatile. Several hundred armed pro-Russian demonstrators have stormed the headquarters of the Ukrainian Navy in Sevastopol. They've been replacing Ukrainian flags with Russian ones. There are no reports of violence, and protesters are said to be negotiating with naval officers. It follows Tuesday's move by Russia to annex Crimea. Ukraine's interim prime minister has called the annexation robbery on an international scale. Well, President Putin received a standing ovation after announcing the annexation on Tuesday. Fred Pleitgen joins us now live from the Russian capital, Moscow. So it appears, Fred, from at least the Russian perspective, everyone's very happy with Mr. Putin.
Everyone's happy, and it seems as though Crimea is a done deal to the Russians, Monita. They're really moving along very quickly to finalize all of this. As you know, the deal, the treaty that was signed yesterday between Crimea and the Russian Federation.
All right, Fred, thank you very much for that. Fred Pleitgen there live for us from Moscow. Well, Sergei Lavrov said that there would be counter-sanctions. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has said that Russian President Vladimir Putin is on the wrong side of history. White House correspondent Michelle Kaczynski joins us now live from Washington. So it seems as though, Michelle, that Mr. Putin doesn't really care about what's happening, whatever the West is saying. He says that the Western partners have crossed the line.
Right, and clearly the Obama administration does not need a sort of war of words.
Michelle, thank you. Michelle Kaczynski there live from the White House. Well, while the international community is denouncing Russia's annexation of Crimea, the reaction inside Russia is very different. Mr. Putin's poll ratings, as we heard Fred Pleitgen reporting as well earlier on, well, they're soaring at home. Aisha Sasay has more on that.
The adulation for Vladimir Putin shown by Russia's parliament is symbolic of the national mood.
Let's bring you up to date on our stories that we're following here at CNN Center, including one of our top stories this hour. Malaysian authorities have said that some data was deleted from the pilot's home flight simulator, but it's unclear who deleted it. They've also said that they received background information from all the countries that had passengers on board, apart from Russia and Ukraine. Search efforts are covering a vast area of land and ocean. Other stories that we're also keeping an eye on: authorities in the United States have arrested 14 people and dismantled what they call one of the largest online child exploitation operations in history. The authorities say there were more than 250 victims, mostly boys between the age of 13 and 15. The website had more than 27,000 subscribers. Israel is striking back at Syrian army positions following an attack on several Israeli soldiers. Israel says it's retaliating after a device exploded Tuesday, wounding 4 Israeli soldiers as they patrolled in the northern Golan Heights. Israeli warplanes bombed several Syrian army positions, including a training facility and a military headquarters site. The Oscar Pistorius murder trial has been hearing graphic details about the moment the athlete shot his girlfriend. A police ballistics expert says Reba Steenkamp was trying to cover herself as she sat on a magazine rack in the bathroom when she was killed. The Paralympic star has pleaded not guilty to murder, saying he thought Steenkamp was an intruder. You're watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Still ahead. You're watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Let's get a look at the global weather picture now. Mari Ramos joins us now from the World Weather Center today. Mari?
Hey, Monita. We're going to go ahead and start with the weather in China this time around, especially for you guys across eastern China, into those mountainous areas. Monita, back to you.
All right. Mari, thank you.
Sure.
Well, there is much a part of the 007 mystique as Bond girls and martinis, shaken not stirred, of course. Cars from the James Bond movies have bristled with gadgets and plenty of vroom. CNN's Becky Anderson takes us inside a special collection now open in London.
Bond wouldn't be Bond without his gadgets and fast cars.
Becky Anderson reporting there. And finally today, take a look at what's heading to tip jars, vending machines and parking meters across the UK. This is the new £1 coin that Chancellor George Osborne unveiled today. The Royal Mint is expected to start making the coin in 2017 and will even take suggestions from the public on what the tail side should look like. The new design is meant to help cut down on counterfeiting. You've been watching CNN News Center. I'm Monita Rajpal live at CNN Hong Kong. Thank you for joining us. Stay with us, though. We'll have the very latest on the missing Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 with CNN's Max Foster and CNN Newsroom live from London next.